I used to suck at wall balls, but after learning some valuable tips and tricks that I'm about to share with you, I feel much more confident now heading into that final and last station during the HYROX race. Here is everything you need to know about wall balls. We're gonna be going over three main topics. First is form breakdown, which is the most important. Second are exercises that will help you improve your wall balls. And third, some mobility and stretching that will also help with your range of motion to make you much more efficient and better with the wall ball. We're gonna bring in my mixed doubles partner. She's world champion athlete, Coach Allie Summers, and she is going to assist me with form. All right, so first thing here, we have different heights for the women and the men. The women have a target that's 9 feet high. The men have a target that is 10 feet high. When you set up for the wall balls, kind of general rule of thumb, a good place to start, you want to stand in front of your target and get those arms out nice and straight, all right? And that's a good starting spot if you're new to wall balls. And then we have three main things that I like to call ESP. All right, I just made that up, but just remember that ESP, it stands for your eyes, it stands for spine and pocket. Eyes, spine, pocket, all right? Remember those three things when you're approaching the wall ball. So first off, eyes, you want your eyes fixed on that target the entire time, okay? That's gonna help you with the second part, which is your spine. Try and keep your spine as straight as possible. I can't stress this enough. A lot of people have issues with the weight when they catch it. It forces them forward, all right? When you are getting further away or when you're leaning forward, you are using more energy in every single rep. So the main thing to remember is think about keeping your spine as straight as possible, all right? So we got our eyes up on the targets, we got our spine straight, and when she catches that ball, we wanna make sure we catch it in this pocket, all right? That's the P here. The pocket is gonna be right in front of your collarbone. You don't wanna catch it too low. You don't want to catch it and bring it down. Again, we don't want that weight bringing your body down. So we're going to catch it at the pocket every single time. Think about right under your chin and try and keep it there. Those are the three main things. Also, when you're in your stance, go a little bit slightly wider. It might allow more depth for you. All right, that's something that you should work on to see what works best with your range of motion. You have to break 90 degrees when you come down. If you don't, they will bring out a bucket where you have to get your butt down to the bucket every time. It's the bucket of shame. You don't want that to happen to you. So make sure that when you come down, you're breaking 90 degrees every single time. And something also very important, breathing. You want to make sure that you're taking big breaths every rep. So think about exhaling as you explode up, inhaling on the way down, all right? So we're gonna go over some reps right here. Watch her do her thing. She's done multiple HYROX races where she's been able to go 100 reps unbroken, which is the ultimate goal when you're doing that race. So looking at her form right here, going over everything. So she's gonna break it down for us right now. Starting off with these reps, notice that her eyes are fixed up on that target. She's catching that ball right in front of her collarbone, right underneath her chin, breaking 90 degrees every time with her hips. Also, notice that when she's catching it, she's already on the way down, all right? One main thing that a lot of people have trouble with, they kind of split it up into two movements. They'll catch it and then squat. You wanna combine the two. You wanna catch that ball as your body is already going down, and then taking a nice big exhale as she comes up, inhale on the way down, keeping that heart rate in check. That target as well, you really want to think about just raising the target. It's like the ball is kissing that target nice and soft. You don't want to go too hard. You don't want this ball to bounce off and be spinning, all right? So you want to make sure it just gently touches the target so it doesn't spin too much with that ball. And also think about that ball like an egg, okay? You don't want to break the egg. And when you're catching it, you want those palms to come underneath that ball, not too much to the side, and to put you right back in that position in that pocket. And here is what you don't want to do. Notice that she catches that ball and she's bringing the ball all the way down. Her weight is going forward. She's having to use so much more energy here to get that ball up. And right here, notice that she is not breaking 90 degrees. She's just coming right before that This is something the judges will watch very closely, and every time you do this, they're not gonna count a rep, so you're gonna have to work even harder. So make sure that you're breaking 90 degrees every single time. Right here, notice that she's catching the ball and then going into a squat, all right? You are wasting a lot of time and energy with this as well. Really make sure that you're catching that ball while you're already on the down position of that squat. Here's some exercises to help with your strength to get you prepped for wall balls. Squats, 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 and more squats. So right here, we're doing a goblet squat. Okay, so go heavy with that weight. We're keeping that weight up at her shoulder. Notice her nice wide stance, which is going to match her stance on that wall ball. Then we've got thrusters. This is going to mimic the wall ball form even more, okay? So with those weights up at her shoulders, so she's got the whole body going right now, which she'll use during that wall ball, getting nice and deep with that squat, keeping that spine vertical, and then she is using that momentum to press those weights overhead just like she'll do with that ball. And one more variation that we love to do here, a heavy med ball squat, all right? This is gonna allow us to get nice and deep. All right, hugging that med ball, really overloading with that weight and keeping that chest up. Here's a move that I love to do that really just isolates that upper body. All right, you got a slight bounce, slight bend at the knees, but you're really focusing on using that heavy weight and using your chest, your biceps, your shoulders right here, squeezing that ball when you catch it, and then just popping it up nice and high. And the best exercise that I think you should be doing are wall balls with heavier med balls. Right now, she's using a 20-pound med ball. When she races, she uses a 16-pound med ball on the course, all right? So we're gonna really overload that weight to make it feel a little bit easier when we get out there for that race. And in order to perform a good wall ball, you're going to need that flexibility, that range of motion, all right? So here are a few exercises you should throw into your routine before you work out, after you work out. And a lot of people, they're unable to break that 90 degrees, and it's not necessarily because of their hips. A lot of it is because of the tightness in their calves or their ankles, right? So this first move right here that you're gonna wanna do, you're gonna be up against the wall, a few inches from that wall, and keeping that front foot nice and flat. And then she's going to lean forward while trying to keep that foot nice and flat and really stretching out that ankle, all right? Make sure you're driving that knee as far forward as you can. Hold it up against the wall for a few seconds and do a handful of those, switching back and forth from the left side to the right side. And obviously, we've got to hit the hips. So we've got a good stretch here that you should throw into your daily routine. This is the 90-90 stretch, and both legs are gonna start at 90-degree angles, and the goal is to keep that 90-degree angle on both legs while you go from side to side. And you can start with your hands on the ground, but the goal here is you want to get those hands off the ground completely, all right? And then staying on those heels, those feet are going to stay in the same spot, and you're really going to feel this in those hips while you try and get those knees down to the ground. You're going to like that one. And the third and final one is just holding a deep squat. And if that's challenging for you, like it is for me, you can start by sitting on a ball, all right? Use that as the targets, and then you're going to get nice and wide with those feet, pointing those toes out, and then just sitting there, feeling that stretch in those hips. And then when you're comfortable enough, you can get rid of that ball, and then coming down, keeping that chest nice and proud. And notice how deep she's able to get there. She's got her elbows inside of her knees. Her feet are nice and flat. Hold this for 20, 30 seconds, and then do that a few times every day, and that will help you out with your range of motion for the wall. Hope you guys enjoyed that. If you want more tips and tricks like that for HYROX races, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Putting out new content every week. We'll see you here in Nashville at BC Block. Come work out with us, Team on 3.